People sit around a table for one reason: to play a game and have fun. Yet incredibly often, the experience ends with real-world resentment, silent frustration, and players simply ghosting the entire gaming group. Game masters get excited. They build a world, hand out character sheets, and say, "Make something cool," before launching straight into the adventure. But while one player builds a character for a lighthearted comedy, another creates a gritty survivor for a grim tragedy. Without a conversation to align those assumptions, an invisible vacuum of friction opens up right at the table. The game starts before the first die is rolled, long before maps are drawn or character sheets exist. This critical phase is called Session Zero. It's a dedicated conversation held before the game starts, specifically used to design the group's trust architecture. Bypassing this alignment guarantees that unstated interpersonal conflicts will eventually surface and tear the narrative apart. Every successful architecture needs a foundation. For a tabletop game, that bedrock is tone and safety. Define the darkness threshold. How much horror is acceptable? Establish lines, hard boundaries for forbidden content you strictly respect, and veils, where uncomfortable content exists but happens off-camera. Real-life discomfort always overrides the fictional genre. If someone hesitates when you ask if they are okay with the topic, you honor the hesitation. Mapping out exactly what is forbidden removes the fear of the unknown. It gives players the psychological security they need to fully engage with what is permitted. The next layer of the architecture divides roles and authority. Who exactly decides what? The game master has a specific job: present the external world, adjudicate uncertainty, and enforce consequences. While the game master runs the world, players hold absolute sovereignty, having complete control over interior thoughts, feelings, and moral choices. As a game master, you never get to decide how a player's character feels or reacts internally to the world. You present the burning tavern, they decide if their character cares. The authority the game master holds exists only to keep the game moving and entirely fair. It is a tool to serve shared group enjoyment, never a mechanism to assert personal dominance. Respecting these specific borders prevents play from devolving into a dictatorial power struggle. When everyone knows what they control, they play their part without stepping on each other's toes. The final piece of the architecture caps the structure: play expectations and logistics. You have to decide right away if player versus player action is allowed, limited, or completely off the table. If you wait until a rogue steals from a paladin to have this conversation, the table will catch fire. You also set the explicit requirement that the spotlight is shared. No single person gets to dominate the narrative at the expense of everyone else. Then there are the practical hazards. You must agree on how long sessions run, how often you play, and exactly what protocols you follow when a player has a scheduling conflict. Codifying these rules before the dice roll acts as an insurance policy. Agreements made in advance will save you from arguments made in anger later in the campaign. There is one final safety net in any ongoing campaign, and it's the one almost nobody talks about: the exit protocol. Over time, energy and interest naturally shift. A game that was thrilling in January might feel like a second job by June. Continuing to play without joy turns a hobby into suffering. A campaign that ends early has simply reached its natural conclusion. When it's time to stop, a table can choose an alternative form of closure. You can do a brief narrative summary or play out one final scene, walking away with zero blame attached. This architectural alignment makes the fun possible. It provides the specific mechanism that allows a shared story to survive the weight of the campaign. Collaborative storytelling relies entirely on trust. By taking the time to design that architecture together, you protect the game, you protect your players, and you ensure the shared imagination can thrive.